Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So I'll recite 3 times this sloka. Then you can repeat after me. So today's sloka. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatryapto nirashrayah कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. So please repeat after me. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Word to word meaning and translation by His divine grace, C.A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Tyaktva, having given up. Karma phala asangam, attachment for fruitive results. Nitya, always. Triptaha, being satisfied. Nirashrayaha, without any shelter. Karmani, inactivity. Abhipravrittaha, being fully engaged. Api, in spite of. Na, does not. Eva,
Certainly.
Kinchit, anything. Karoti,
Do.
Saha, he. Translation. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities.
Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities.
Ever satisfied and independent.
Ever satisfied and independent.
He performs no fruitive action.
He performs no fruitive action.
Although engaged in all kinds of undertakings.
Although engaged in all kinds of
undertakings.
So basically, this chapter 4 is also called titled as Jnana and Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Means Jnana means knowledge. Karma Sannyasa Yoga is renunciation of action. So we'll be talking more about renunciation of action in our further one now. So in the 19th verse of the same chapter, Lord says that one is said to be in full knowledge when every endeavor of his is devoid of desire for any sense gratification. Such a person is said by the sages to be a worker without any reaction of that work, because that reaction is burned by the fire of knowledge. So that's what we learned in the last class. So in this class, in this verse, we learn. Uh, so before going into this shloka, we'll have some idea about what you mean by karma, what you mean by uh, vikarma, and what you mean by akarma. So karma is to start with. We know that from from the modern science also, we understand that from the Newton's in third law of motion, no, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So karma is basically uh, uh, the law of karma basically states that for every action there is reaction. So whatever you do to others will again come back to you. So that is basically karma. And vikarma is something which is forbidden action, which is against the scriptural injunction. And akarma is that action which you do to please the Lord by not getting attached to the result of that action. So this is karma, vikarma, and akarma. And the laws of karma are so intricate and very complex to understand. The Lord Himself says in one of the shloka, no, karmanyo yapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Lord says the to Arjuna that law of karma is very difficult to understand and it's very complex. So it is better for one to understand what is karma, what is vikarma, and what is akarma. So uh, in this sloka, it is the Lord says, "Tektva karma pala sangam," means having tektva is having given up the attachment for fruitive results. Such a person, such a devotee is nitya triptaha and nirashrayaha, is always satisfied and is without any shelter. Means not dependent on any of the uh, persons or any activity too much in the material world. And karmanyavi pravrittopi means though engaged in all sorts of activity, is naiva kinchit karoti saha, is not uh, suffering from any reaction to that action. So tektva karma pala sangam. So having given up attachment for all the fruitive results, so a devotee in Krishna consciousness, though engaged in all activities, is uh, not attached to the result of the activities because he is tektva karma pala sangam. Now, we can hear the term tektva karma pala sangam is very significant. So now simple we understood in a brief manner. Now to understand a little deeper, we should know what is tektva karma pala sangam. Tektva karma pala sangam is, it is inaction in action. So if you want to understand from the material point of view, uh, suppose in the bank there will be a cashier. So a lot of people come to deposit money, withdraw money. Suppose one person has come and is depositing 10,000 rupees, and another person comes, he withdraws 1 lakh, and another third person will come, he will deposit 5 lakh, and another person will come and will take another 20 lakhs from bank. But while giving or while receiving, the cashier is not attached. He'll not feel that he's giving from his pocket. He's just doing his duty. So, so while giving or while receiving, he is not at all attached to that action. So it is detached for that action. And uh, one more example we can give is that Lord Hanuman, while in the Ramayana, uh, uh, he killed so many people for sake of for the sake of Rama. So he never incurred any sin because he was totally detached for that action, and he did it for the sake of Lord Rama. So it is again inaction in action. So Arjuna also, after getting full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, he also fights and in a detached way. So not getting attached to the result of action. And uh, from another very good example we can give of Tektva Karma Pala Sangam is of Srila Prabhupada. It is once said that when Srila Prabhupada was in Detroit, that is USA, along with his other devotees, they were looking for a place to establish a temple there. So while they were searching, they found one very a palatial apartment, which Prabhupada also liked very much. And so, along with with other devotees, Prabhupada approaches to that owner of that apartment, and that apartment owner, he quotes a very high price for that mansion. So Prabhupada uh, is such a master negotiator. He convinces him for half the price, and uh, and immediately arranges for half the amount. And for another half amount, he asks for uh, Mr. Ford. Is now with Ambarish Dasa. He's a grandson of Henry Ford. Who's a founder of Ford Motors in America, a big company, a car auto company. And so, of the amount is arranged by his devotee, this Ambarish Dasa, that is Ford's grandson, and another of this Ambarish Dasa will ask his wife Sharmila Devi Mataji, who is also very rich lady. Her father is also one of the directors of that Ford company. So she also she agrees to give another half, so that somehow they'll manage to um, get that mansion. And Prabhupada, with all the help of the other devotees, so will establish a temple there. And it is said that once the temple is constructed and dedicated to the devotees there, and Prabhupada again never stepped to that temple at all. Means such a palatial temple, such a palatial place, and so that means Prabhupada is only was concerned about his devotees and how to uh, uh, increase the preaching and other thing. He was busy with other activities, so he could not come to that temple. So his main aim is only to increase the congregation and make more devotees. So he was totally detached for his action. So this we can understand that he was this Tektva Karma Pala Sangam with Prabhupada, who was a true devotee of Lord Krishna. And another example we can get from the scripture is that about the Tektva Karma Pala Sangam. To understand this, that is inaction in action. Mm, uh, Once this gopis uh, will be observing fast, so they'll uh, so the usual practice is that once they break the fast, next day uh, after before breaking the fast, they'll prepare a nice dish, and they'll prepare variety of food, and before breaking for the fast, they'll first offer it to a priest or a saint or a sage, and then they'll break the fast. So that particular day, they couldn't find any priest, so they'll gopis all will come to Krishna and tell them tell him that. No priests are available, what to do. So then Krishna will say, uh, go to that river Yamuna. So if you cross the river Yamuna, you will find one saint, um, by name Durvasa Muni. So you can have it. So this gopis, what they'll do, they'll take Krishna's word and they'll come to river Yamuna. But river Yamuna that day was very turbulent and very rough, and these gopis, again they'll come back to Krishna and say, so what to do now, we cannot cross that river. So Krishna will say, uh, okay, then you do one thing. Again, you go to river Yamuna and tell, go and tell river Yamuna that if Krishna is Akanda Brahmachari, please give us the way. So all these gopis will start laughing at Krishna. So how can you say that you are a brahmachari? So then Krishna, no, it's okay, you just try this. Say, so he'll say like that, and they'll come to that river Yamuna and they'll say, Krishna is Akanda Brahmachari, and to their surprise, the river calms down and makes them the way, so that gopis will easily cross the river and go to the other side of the river, and they'll meet Durvasa Muni, and they'll offer them the food which they had brought. And Durvasa Muni is also a very great saint, priest, and he initially he was hesitant to take that offerings, um, but uh, 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 he didn't want to dishearten or hurt these gopis, so he'll have uh, that food with his yoga maya shakti, as if he was a hungry person. So he'll have all the food, and uh, the gopis also will feel happy that he had the food, and they'll offer their obeisance to him, and they will be on their way to they'll return to their they'll again come to river Yamuna, because to cross. And uh, so while crossing again, the river was very turbulent and rough, and then again they'll come back to Durvasa Muni. And so Durvasa Muni will say, now if you want to cross, so please tell the river that since morning Durvasa had only one grass, so that the river will will make you way for you. And uh, so this gopis again will laugh in their mind. So you had all the food which they gave, and the uh, this Rishi and this Muni is saying that he had only one grass since morning. So, and somehow they'll go there, and for their surprise, the river calms down and leaves the way again. So after crossing the river and coming back to their home, they'll discuss this same thing with Lord Krishna. So what is the secret behind these two activities? Morning you said like that, and Durasa Muni told about this. What you told was actually contradicting to your statement. So how it was possible? Then Lord Krishna says that it is um, uh, the gods and saints who are transcendently situated. So though they look different from outside, but internally they are transcendently situated. So that's again, it is inaction in action. So tektva karma pala sangam. So that is the understanding of this one, inaction in action. Then we can also so Prabhupada, who says that one who is in Krishna consciousness should be like uh, the like he should always, whatever action he does, he should not get attached to the result of that action. So Prabhupada tells us about the three things, particularly in most of these classes, in these discourses. He says about what is Sambandh Gyan, that one has to have, and one is Abhideya, and other one is Prayojan. So Sambandh Gyan is when we should know that what is our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And second is Abhideya. So once you establish that relationship with the God, so what is that the activity, or what are the things that we do once we know that relationship with the God? And Prayojan is that our ultimate aim, that is goal to reach to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to attain the Supreme Lord. So Krishna also says, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. So means uh, the sages and the saints, who know that this world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, that this place is not for the sane people, very miserable place. So they'll do activities that please Krishna, and once they attain Krishna, they'll never come back to this temporary and miserable world again. So that is the uh, uh, understanding of the sloka. And so thank you very much. So for thank you very much, devotees. Any questions is there, you can ask.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So basically, this sloka tells us about the action of a devotee is as good as inaction, because he is totally is not at all attached to the result of the action. So that is the essence of the sloka. So, any questions or any realization you can share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
A devotee in Krishna consciousness is not even attached to his personal maintenance. For everything, he is left to Krishna only. So,
Yeah.
he is not bothered about his only, including his personal maintenance also.
Yeah, that is inaction in action, Prabhu. That's what.
Inaction, yes.
Inaction. So,
And
though he does so many activities,
also not anxious to secure anything. I mean,
yeah. Though he does so many activities externally, but internally is transcendently situated. That so all that he does, he offers it to Lord Krishna. So that is the. Anybody, any realization, any?
Prabhuji, can you just explain that Sambandha, Prajana, and that one, what you mentioned? I couldn't get it. Can you please again explain that Sambandha, Prajana, and that third thing, that thing? I couldn't understand that. Can you please explain that once again?
Actually, Prabhupada, he says that our main aim is to attain the Supreme Lord. We should first know that what is the purpose of devotion. Why actually we are doing activities, and what is our, we should understand that what is our sambandh gyan. This is possible only when we come out of our deyatma buddhi. So Prabhupada says that we should always be in the understanding that we are not this body, we are the soul, and we have to do activities that are uh, uh, that only help us in that helps the soul, so that that like all these activities now, whether we now the nine level of that from Shraddha, Bhajana Kriya, Sadhu Sangha. So that helps us to keep that Sambandha Gyan with the Lord. And that we should, as a devotee, we should always be in that awareness, and do activities accordingly. That the Abhidheya is that once we know that Sambandha Gyan, to do all the activities uh, that are essential in keeping that relationship with the Supreme Lord. And prayojan is that ultimately that our goal to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the reason, Prabhu.
Like once we say reach the Godhead, what do we do there as such? What is, once we we serve the Lord there, or we just be with Him, or what is it?
That is again, Prabhu, actually, there are 5 types of what we call mukti, that is, one is called Sayujya Mukti, and one is called Samipya Mukti, Samipya Mukti, and the other one is Salokya, another one is Sarupya, and the other one is Sarshti. There are 5 types of liberation the scriptures tell us actually. And so usually this Prabhupada, who call impersonalists, so they opt for Sayujya Mukti, that is becoming one with the Brahman. Whereas we as a devotee, like Arjuna, who preferred to be Samipya with the Lord, so ours is, Prabhupada says that to be with the Lord and serve the Lord. They are in the supreme abode also. So that is our main reason, Prabhu, of Krishna conscious person always desires to be Samipya with the Lord, not becoming one with the Brahman. He enjoys being, serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So our role should be to serve the Lord.
Clear, Prabhu?
Any role what we have as such.
Is it clear, or Prabhu, some confusion?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's very clear now. So we should be in serving mood to the Lord.
Yeah, he's always in the serving mode. So that is the uh, uh, Krishna devotees, the Krishna conscious person always desires for. So we always the Samipya, to be in close in serving mode always. So Jivera Swarupave Krishnera Nityadas, that is the slogan given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.